What's up, guys? Today is the day. I am going to build a boat dolly. Now, if you guys are new to the channel and you just clicked on the video because you saw the thumbnail and you want to know what I'm doing, well, my name is Matt Downs. This is Trick 10s. I've got a business called Professional Welding. We've got a full metal shop, fab shop, lots of machinery, CNC press brakes, plasma tables, all types of rollers, benders, welders, you name it. But I like to do a lot of work at home. Now, I just moved into this new house with this big shop. It's nice. I love it over here, but the depth of it is really starting to become an issue. And we're doing a lot more boats now. I got Austin helping me full time, and I want to be able to fit 2 boats in here comfortably. And to be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of dealing with trailers. A lot of guys have trailers that don't fit their boat. They give me a 14-foot boat with a trailer that's made for a 21-foot boat. The bitch hangs out the front door. I can't even close the door. I can't do that. I've got to be able to put these boats onto like a dolly cart. And not only is the trailer an issue with the length, but you can't take a boat on a trailer and spin it around 360 degrees. I want to be able to do that. So I've had this idea for a while. I just never pulled the trigger on it. Now's the time. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm going to show you what I bought and my idea. I don't know if it's going to work. I hope it is. I mean, I've been doing this a very long time. My metal work, engineering, fabrication, it's pretty extensive. We got 23 years of doing this. Ever since I was 18, the only thing I've ever done as far as a full-time job goes is welding and fabrication at the shop. I've got an idea. I'm going to run with it. I've got a good feeling that it's going to be more than enough to do what I need it to do. Let's get right into it. All right, so check it out, guys. What we've got is 2 boats in here. It's a low 1648. Now, there's barely enough room for me to walk behind the motor back there. And look, this trailer is almost touching my door. It's a pain in the butt. Every time I want to come across here, I got to step over it. And then I got to wiggle between the back of that to get around. Now, look at this one. This is even smaller. This is a well-built 1552. And look at this trailer. You've got a good 6.5 feet of trailer here. And this is touching the door. Now, in the back, we lose space over here because we have this really nice workbench over here, which I need, but it takes up about 30 inches of space. And look, the motor is almost touching. So I cannot get around to the other side to get to my tools, get to my sink, or anything like that. So I've got to do something with these boats. Now, I've had this idea for a long time. I'm going to show you what I sketched up the other night when I was thinking about this. So look, what we've got here. This is a frame I'm going to build. It's going to be out of steel, 1.5 by 3-inch tubing, which is very similar to a lot of these trailers. I'm going to make this 9 foot long by 4 foot. And I'm going to have 1 brace in the middle. Now, I already pre-cut all these tubes. I bought this tubing today. It cost me $133 to get 2 pieces that are 24 foot long of 1.5 by 3 by 1/8 steel tubing. Now, originally, I was going to put these brackets right here on the back, on these back sides. I was going to run straps up to the transom tie downs. I was going to put one in the front. And I was going to run another strap from that up to the winch eye on the front of the bow. But I remembered that Strapino hooked me up with these cool bungees right here, and they're like ratchet straps, tie downs. These are perfect. And it's exactly what I want to use these for. I'm going to put these on the frame. That way I don't have to worry about having ratchet straps when you get lost. These are going to stay attached, pull them up, hook them onto the boat, be done with it. I got 2 boxes of these, so I'm going to use 3 of them. 2 for the back and 1 for the bow. I'll have an extra one left over because eventually, if this works, I'm going to build 2 of these. That way I can have both boats in here on stands like this. Now, this is some hardware that I got. This is leftover stuff I had from something, but this is pretty simple. And I've got all the U-bolts and everything. I'm going to connect this to my tubing frame the same way that the bunk boards are connected on these trailers. So look, that's the same parts I have right there. This piece connects to the 2x4. I'm actually going to use a 2x6. I was in Lowe's earlier, and I was looking at the 2x4, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Let's just get a 2x6, and we have the same exact setup. So these 2x6s were $23. $23 for 2x6 by 10 foot long boards. And then this is our tubing right here. We're going to use is steel tubing. Now you can see what I did. I actually had Austin do this, but I miter cut these because I'm going to take those, and I have 2 4-foot pieces right here. These are 9 foot. These are 4 foot, and these are mitered too. I'm just going to build that frame out. It's going to be 4 foot by 9 foot. And then I have 1 piece that's straight cut that's 45 inches. It's going to go in the middle of it. And once I get that made, then I'm going to attach these pieces down here. This is 1.5 by 2.5 inch tube. And this is like 3/16 thick. Then I have these little plates. I'm going to weld these onto the bottom of that. and weld this up into the corner of this frame. And I've got some wheels here. These were $32 on Amazon. I mean, I was looking at a bunch of different wheels and I was thinking about it. I mean, they're rated for 2,200 pounds, came with the hardware. I was looking at some that had some rubber tread on it. It looked like off-road tires, but they were like 85 bucks. And I started thinking about it. I'm looking at the garage floor while I'm looking on Amazon. I'm like, this is a smooth garage floor. Outside of those doors, the gigantic driveway that runs all the way out, it's all paved. I'm never gonna have this thing running out in the dirt or in the grass, so I'm gonna try these. If they don't work, I'll get some different ones. They were like 30 some bucks, so not the end of the world. I'll put those on a table or something, but I got a good feeling that they're gonna be more than enough to do what we wanna do with them. My whole goal is to basically build a trailer without a tongue. And instead of tires, we're gonna have casters. That way I can grab that boat and I can spin it around wherever I want it to be. I can move it forward or backwards, and it has locks on it. So once I get it set where I want it, I lock the casters in place, I can work on it. Now my plan is to make it about the same size as a trailer height, because I'm used to working on it at that height. I think it's a good height. And if I can get them the same, then it should be pretty easy for me to use them to work on it. So once I get it built, then I'm gonna use like this overhead crane I got right here. And what I'll do, I'll hook it onto the bow, pick the bow up, and then I'll jack the boat up from the back, yank the trailer out, and then I'll slide my dolly cart underneath of it, take the trailer, stick it in the backyard until I'm done with the boat. Not only is it gonna allow me to work on the boat without having the giant trailer in here, but it allows me to paint this thing and spin it around and move it where I want it and get it in the angle I need it to and have a lot more room in here to work. So my plan is I'm gonna pull this boat outside and I'm gonna use this area right here. I'm gonna build this frame on the floor, and then once I get the frame welded out, then I need to paint it, but I don't know if I'm gonna paint it right now because we're supposed to have a bad snowstorm coming in tomorrow afternoon, and I really wanna get this thing up underneath of this boat right here so I get this trailer out of here before the snow comes in. That way Austin can come over and help me work on it. But I do have some carpet over here. This was just some leftover carpet that I have. It's gray indoor outdoor carpet. It's nothing fancy. I'm gonna throw that on top of these bunk boards right here. And I'm probably gonna come back at a later date and buy some actual bunk board carpet for it. But for now, I'm gonna get this all set up and put together. I'm gonna put you guys on the hyperlapse. And once I get it put together, then we'll circle back and I'll show you exactly what we got and if it works. Let's get right into it. All right, so that was surprisingly pretty easy. Now I haven't used this MIG welder in a while and the trigger was sticking on me, but I mean, I did clean it out. Look, I used some of this electronic cleaner on it and it's working now. But this is why they call them MIG monkeys, guys. Look at this. Squeeze the trigger and it welds. The wire comes out. I mean, compared to the TIG welding that I do, anybody can do this. You could teach a monkey to do it. That's the running joke. That's why they call them MIG monkeys. But look, this is what I did. I put this whole frame together. I squared it up and I MIG welded it. MIG welding is super easy, and I mean, I haven't done this in a while, but there was a good stretch where MIG welding was pretty much all I did for about 4 or 5 years. So I've gotten pretty good at it over the years, and like I tell everybody, welding is like riding a bike with 2 wheels. When you're first learning as a kid, seems impossible, but once you get it, you got it. So one of the hardest corners with MIG is going to be an outside corner, but that's butter. That looks good. I gotta start making trailers, guys. Now, this is pretty much a trailer, minus like the A-frame and the tongue and a coupler and an axle. This literally cost me $133, and I still had enough material left over. I could have built an A-frame and a tongue, threw a coupler on here. I could probably buy an axle for $400, and I could build a steel trailer for, you know, less than 600 bucks. Then I take the thing and get it galvanized, and you know, I can see why people build trailers, because you can get good money for them. And if I was going to do it, I'd have to build them at like 20 at a time and send them off to the galvanizers stacked on a flatbed truck. But that's a story for a different day. That's coming when I start building boats. But we got this done. That was stupid simple. Now I got to weld these little pieces for my legs. I'm going to take these pieces. I got to make sure that they actually mount up and line up with the hole pattern that's in those wheels. I took the measurements off of the Amazon description, so hopefully they do. I'm going to check them first, obviously, and then I'm going to take this piece just like that, weld that solid. Then I'll take that, stick it on the inside corner right there, and I'll weld it solid. I'm thinking that I might actually come back with a gusset. I didn't bring them home. I was going to make some, but I might throw like a triangular gusset in here, a 4-inch triangle. Same thing over here in all these corners. It will just make it strong. I feel better about it, but pretty simple. Majority of it's done now. That's the bulk of it. I mean, that's it. That's it right there. That's my dolly. That's my trailer without a tongue, without an axle. All we got to do now is figure out how we're going to attach these casters. And then these bunk boards are going to be simple because they just bolt on with U-bolts to this tube going across this way. I'm going to put you guys back on the hyperlapse. I'm going to try to put those up on the table. I don't know. Maybe we can clear off some crap over here and get enough room where I can set these up and weld them. If not, we'll just weld them over here. But regardless, this thing's looking good. Let's get back to work. All right, so I got a coat of paint on it last night and I had to let it sit because it just wasn't going to dry quick enough for me to finish the whole thing up. And I was hoping that we were going to beat the snow, but yeah, it's snowing pretty good out there and that boat out there is getting covered. I was hoping that that wasn't going to happen. Not the end of the world though, but we got to finish this up now. It looks good. I mean, if you guys know me, I had to paint the thing, man. It's got to look good. I'll probably end up throwing some stickers and stuff on it eventually, but now that it's painted, I'm going to put the casters on and then I'm going to get my carpet. I'm going to wrap these bunks. I got to cut those off, figure out how long I'm going to do them. I'm probably going to make them about 9'6", maybe hang about 3 inches off either side, something like that. And once I get the bunks covered with carpet and these casters on there, I'll attach those bunks. We'll circle back, get back on the hyperlapse. All right, guys, so there it is. This thing is sick, man. It turned out really good. Now you can see how I put these bolt buckles on the back from Strapino. These are sweet, man. They're gonna work out perfectly. Only crappy thing is I didn't realize that I had 2 boxes of these, but I used 2 of them on the original Yin 10. So there was just regular tie down straps in the other box. So I've got to get another set of these. Actually, I'm probably gonna get 2 more because I'm gonna end up building 2 of these carts. I don't have one for the front, but what I'm gonna do until I get that is I'm just gonna wrap a ratchet strap underneath this and hook both ends of it onto the front of the winch eye on the boat. And then I can ratchet strap it down. And then once I get the other Strapino ratchet, I'll put that right here and bolt it into the center. That'll be perfect. But the thing turned out sweet. It rolls really easy in here. I mean, you can push this thing around easy. It's gonna be really nice. Got my bunk boards covered. I wish that this carpet could have ran long ways, but it wasn't long enough. Not really a big deal. I mean, I'm gonna jack the boat up and just set it on here. It's never really gonna be sliding on here anyways. I might replace that with some regular bunk board carpet or probably just leave it the way it is. It looks pretty cool. This is gonna make my life a whole lot easier. I'm gonna get that boat on here very shortly, but I'm probably gonna have to wait a little bit because the snow is dumping out there. And in order to get the boat on here, I gotta pull that trailer out and move a trailer that's in front of it and then get this boat over here. So the thing turned out sweet though, guys. Let me know what y'all think about it. All right, guys, so the cart's done, man. This thing turned out sick. It took me about maybe 3 or 4 hours. I don't know, the hardest part was drilling the holes to put those ratchet buckles in there because I had to go through the double thicknesses and that vertical leg. That thing's like 3/16 of an inch thick. I hate dealing with steel. I broke 2 of my bits off inside of there, but I got it done. We're just waiting on 1 more to throw up on the front, and then I think it's gonna be perfect. I mean, when I locked the tires on that thing, it held it in place pretty good. And I think that with the ratchet straps on the boat, it'll be no different than it being on a trailer as far as it being tightened down to it. But the advantage is that I'm gonna be able to move this thing around easily. It's gonna clear out a lot more space in here, and it's just gonna be overall a whole lot better for the work environment in here. And I'm pumped about this thing. Now, you guys can make one of these if you're a boat builder. Probably not something that the average person really needs, but I think it's pretty dope. For me, it's gonna be a lifesaver. All right, guys, so check it out. Just had my son come out here and help me put this thing on the trailer. We used the overhead crane to pick the back up, and I put a jack up underneath the front and jacked that up, and he just rolled the cart right underneath it. I dropped it down on top of it. It was stupid easy. I didn't film it though, unfortunately, but I'm gonna be filming some more videos of me putting this thing underneath here. This thing is awesome. I mean, I have room to walk all the way around it now. Don't have to worry about banging my shin up against the front of the trailer, stepping over it. It doesn't have to be pushed all the way back. I'm hyped, man. I gotta build another one of these. And look at this, if I wanna move it around, look at that. You can put it wherever you want. Super easy to roll. And on top of that, it's sturdy. I got the back straps down. And look. Crazy cool, man. This thing is way sturdier than it being on a trailer too. I mean, it's nice. It's gonna be exactly what I needed in the shop, guys. Sick. I'll see y'all next time. Let's get back to work.